You are listening to PowerScore's Featured Law Schools podcast series. Today's featured law school is Penn State University Dickinson School of Law. Currently ranked in the top tier by the U.S. News & World Report, Penn State has a total full-time enrollment of 586 students and currently costs a little over $34,000 for both in- and out-of-state students. For the class that entered in 2009 for more than 4,000 applicants, over 1,000 were accepted. Finally, when it came to the admission for fall of 2009, the median LSAT score was a 158, while the median GPA was a 3.5. Representing Penn State Law School in our podcast today, we have the Dean of the Law School, Jay Shively, and a May 2010 graduate of Penn State, Valerie Eifert. Dean Shively says that what makes his school different than any other programs is the state-of-the-art facilities and faculty, among many other opportunities that are available at Penn State Law.
Penn State Law is an incredibly exciting place to be right now. The university has made a huge investment in facilities and faculty and programs. So I think that, in that regard, our facilities can't be beat. The faculty that we've attracted from across the country are amazing. And I think that we also offer, because of the School of International Affairs being housed in the law school, we offer opportunities for international study that are unparalleled. We also employ sort of state-of-the-art technology that allows us to telecommute between our two campuses and to share classes across the globe, really, with partners in places like Cape Town and Maastricht. What else? I think, because we're a part of the Penn State system, we offer tons of joint degree programs that, in conjunction with the world-class graduate programs right across campus here. So all those things, I think, add up to a really unique place.
And when it comes to applying to Penn State Law, Dean Shively says the obvious application requirements are still important, but he offers some more personal advice.
The obvious advice would be do as well as you can in your classes. Make sure you develop your analytical and writing skills. Make sure you're academically prepared for law school. Make sure that you have prepared for the LSAT before you take it. All those are fairly obvious. I mean, the advice that I try to give people is, in terms of applicants, is also take some time to sort of develop yourself personally and make sure that you have a perspective that you can bring to the classroom and to your life that is valuable. Know who you are before you get to the law school application process, so that you can stand out in that regard, but also approach life in a way that's meaningful for you.
And when trying to decide between a few law schools, Dean Shively says to travel and visit the programs and look at the opportunities each school can offer you.
I think that really the best advice for any student who's trying to decide amongst law schools is to visit the schools, spend some time getting to know the administrators and the students and the faculty, especially if they have a particular area of interest that they are wanting to pursue, to spend some real time exploring those activities and interests at the schools that they're considering. There's a fairly, we constrict the application process so that, we can crunch all our numbers and do the things we need to do, but I think that it's worthwhile for students to take that time whenever they can find it, even if it means entering law school later, to really find the right place. I mean, the law school is an environment and an opportunity that's going to set the stage and set the tone for the rest of their career, and perhaps their life, in terms of the people that they go to law school will be the colleagues that they build their network on. What they learn in law schools, establishes the foundation upon which their careers are built. I just think that it's one of the more important decisions that someone can make in their professional life, and really taking the time to get to know the institution and the people behind it will really sort of set institutions apart. So, like when students ask me, well, what makes you better than this school? You know what? It's so different for each individual that I think, what I can do is talk about an individual's interests and try to explain to them what opportunities they'll find at Penn State Law in terms of their own individual interests. And I think that that's a really valuable approach for students to have, is to think about what they're looking for from the experience and how Penn State Law is going to enhance their goals.
And when it comes to the student body look at the program, Valerie Eifert says students at Penn State are very helpful and willing to work with their fellow Penn State classmates.
I really enjoy the collegiality of the school. I think that when you go to law school, it gets a bad name, or not Penn State in particular, but law school gets a bad name for being really competitive between students, and there's definitely a competitive aspect of law school. Everyone wants to do well, but Penn State is very collegial amongst students. There's this feeling of, we're together, we really want to all succeed and do well, and so students are willing to help other students out if sick and unable to go to class, or, struggling with certain material. So there's not this sense of super competitiveness amongst students that you may see at other places, which I really enjoy a lot. And that carries over with the professors, too. The professors have a very open door policy. They're willing to meet with students and really help them, whether it's with the class material or to think about things more globally and develop, topics for law review, or bring in speakers to campus that are going to benefit the school and the scholarship that, we put out as a school. So I think the overall collegiality of the school is my favorite aspect of it.
And as for student extracurricular activities, Penn State offers something very unique to their students. Penn State Law is divided between 2 locations, and student organizations are run on both campuses and link the campus student organizations through high-tech teleconferencing.
Well, it's interesting because we have 2 campuses. We're the only dual campus law school in the country. So we have one campus in University Park, and then we have a second campus in Carlisle, or vice versa. I'm at the University Park campus. So at University Park, there's a definite Big Ten feel. There are football games, during the fall semester, all semester long. So you get more of that aspect of it than you do if you're at the Carlisle location. But the most interesting thing about the student life is that because we have 2 campuses, all of our student organizations are run at both campuses, and they are run together. So we have all of our meetings via teleconference equipment. Our Student Bar Association meets using that equipment. Our law reviews meet using that equipment. Whether it's the International Law Society or our American Constitution Society, we use that equipment to link the campuses to meet. So, and when we put on events, if we host it at one location, we also provide the teleconferencing so that they can participate in the event, or we host the same portion of the event down there as well. So if there's a reception at one campus, we have it at the other location as well. So it's a dynamic, and I think that it forces us to think, about other people and not just about how, we want the event to run. And it requires a lot of communication and can present its own challenges, but I think it's something that the students have really grown to adapt to. So for my experience at the University Park campus, I would say that the student life is, there's definitely that Big Ten aspect of, going to the football games, going to tailgates and doing that. But there's also, we have a fantastic law school building, and we're able to utilize that building to bring in speakers and communicate and, discuss issues outside of the classrooms. There's a lot of shared space in that building that we take full advantage of.
And finally, Valerie says that though the law profession is taking a hit in the economy, Penn State is great at training students to become self-starters.
Well, I really think that Penn State embodies what law schools are going to be as we, move into the future, and I think we're a very forward-looking place. So first, there's a lot of leadership opportunities that when you enter the legal field now, you're going to have to be a self-starter. You're going to have to make your own decisions and think on your feet. And someone may say that doesn't seem any different than what it's been in the past, but because of this economy, there are going to be new challenges to people entering the legal profession. And I think that Penn State provides you a great training ground on how to be involved, how to interact with your peers, but also how to interact with your professors and your superiors in some way. If you view professors in that way. I also think that the range of subjects or focus areas that we have a substantial amount of classes in are fantastic. You know, we have one of the leading experts in merger and acquisitions. We have the leading expert in scientific evidence. We have one of the most well-known human rights attorneys in the entire world. We have a clinic that allows you to write briefs for the Supreme Court of the United States as a law student. I'm in that clinic, and I've written 3 briefs for the Supreme Court of the United States while I'm in law school. And I think that there's probably a very small minority of people or students around the country that can say that they've done something like that. Another great part about Penn State is that we have brand new facilities, and that really has energized, I think, the students and the faculty to really expand the way that we think about law school and see how we can interact with other schools, whether it's on campus up here at University Park, bring in an interdisciplinary nature. So I think that now that we've merged with Penn State from what our law school used to be as an independent law school, it's just opened up all new doors and really has given students the opportunity to be even more successful and has opened up a whole new, network of alumni right along with that. So I think it's a fantastic time to be a student at Penn State Law. It's an exciting time, and really I feel like I've had the opportunity to leave my, imprint on the school, and I think that the students coming here in the future are going to have that same chance.
Thank you for listening to PowerScore's podcast series. If you want more information on PowerScore's podcasts or services, please visit PowerScore.com, or you can call 1-800-545-1750.